When you see this, what comes to mind? Is it a way to pay bills that are late? That what you need to send your kids to college? Is what you see a way to pay for that vacation that's always felt more like a dream than a reality? Is this something which you feel you can never get enough? Money is an extremely simple and at the same time very complicated thing. By itself, money is nothing more than numbers that can be added or subtracted. Add people to the equation, and you wind up with complex emotions that allow you to make very irrational decisions with money. Your emotional relationship with money explains the reasons you know what you should do with money, but are not doing it. Let me know if this message sounds familiar. If you go to school and work hard, over time, you will make money, maybe even a lot of money. This lesson, on its face, sounds so simple, so easy. Yet, you are never given the tools on how to truly manage money, know what the timeline should be to make money, or what to do when you finally have money. Being left on your own, with no direction, you plunge blindly into the financial waters, completely ignorant on if you know how to wade the waters, let alone swim them. All you know is that you've been told to make sure your bills are paid on time and to save money. On paper, this is very sound advice. In practice, it is completely flawed. You see, the lesson of bill paying and savings is sterile. It is math, and the math says if the numbers you have work out. What always gets left out of this equation is human emotion and how emotions can sabotage the math with poor behavior. For reference, in 2002, Daniel Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in Economics for his study showing that when people make financial decisions, they make them more with emotion than logic or reason. Human brains are wired to seek out happiness now, today, this instant. While you can save money and feel safe and secure in your future, that ultimately won't bring your happiness fix today. As a member of a generation who was never taught how to manage impulse urges with money, you inevitably spend it instead of saving it. There is a phrase that goes, money can't buy happiness. But what you see all around you looks very contradictory to that statement. Every day you are reinforced with the message that money absolutely can buy happiness. It is on TV, blog posts, Instagram, magazines, movies. It's everywhere. If you spend money on that new car you saw in an ad, take that vacation the influencer posted, or buy the expensive meal, all of which are above your spending ability, you know you will feel happy. So you go for it. You don't even think about your savings or your future. You make the purchase, and guess what? You do feel happy. You continue to hype your purchase by letting the world see and like the pictures of your car, you sipping a drink on a tropical beach, or eating at that restaurant that has reservations that have to be made months in advance. Yes, you are living high. But this feeling doesn't last. It never lasts. After the high, you wind up in an inevitable emotional low. You want to get yourself back up. You want to feel that happiness again. You get up and rush to your bank. Today is the day you're going to open your IRA. You will get a CD as well. Your future will be bright because you are going to start making sound financial choices. But again, we know this is not how the story goes. Your brain tells you what happened to make you feel happy before. It was that purchase you made. Remember how amazing it felt? Of course you do. You start scrolling through ads, Instagram, and blogs in search of the next must-have purchase. This cycle of buying on emotion continues on and on and on. You delay your savings and future security for instant gratification. As you already know, once the happiness of a purchase wanes, you will inevitably feel low again. However, you never address the reason you feel low. Is it simply because the newness of your purchase is gone? Or is it something else? Something you don't want to admit to yourself. That maybe you feel guilty after thinking about the purchase you made. This feeling of guilt is awful. You don't like it. How can you get rid of it? This running from guilt pushes you to the path of least resistance. That path is to make another purchase and get that drip of happiness again. But what makes you feel guilt when chasing happiness? I would venture to say because you put off how you should spend your money. The things you know you should do, like pay down your debts. You should save money for college and retirement. You can make up all shoulda, coulda, woulda reasons. But they never happen. When you realize the things you didn't do in pursuit of happiness, you feel irresponsible and maybe a little selfish. And once you recognize those things about yourself, it becomes an uncomfortable feeling to deal with. What is even worse is you may be unsure of all the things you should be doing. As we said earlier, you know you should pay debts, save for retirement, college, and emergency funds. But what does that actually look like? How much should you put towards each one of those? How much will you have to sacrifice today in order to be happy tomorrow? Those questions and issues are heavy. It is enough to be very overwhelming, so much so that it is easier to not think about them and chase happiness today instead. It creates a cycle that leads to spending problems, large amounts of debt, and extreme uncertainty for the future. You finally decide to tackle these issues. You're tired of living in this cycle, and you have to face some hard truths. Like all problems, you have to admit where you are. You can never know how to get to where you are going if you first don't know where you are. To do this, start with these two things. Number one, build your budget and have an understanding of where your money is going and how much you have left over. Number two, be aware of your emotions. For number one, building a budget can feel overwhelming. Maybe it isn't something you've done before, or you feel you might be ashamed of what the numbers look like. This is understandable. Building a budget for the first time can be an uncomfortable thing, but you absolutely have to do it. With the numbers right in front of you, you will always know where you stand and can focus on things you have been ignoring. With the money left over, you can budget things that will be enjoyable for you and bring you happiness without going overboard. For the second thing you have to do, I want you to write down answers to a few questions. Question number one, what lessons were you taught about money growing up, and how do they affect you today? Question number two, when you think about money, what do you feel? Now, explore the reason you feel that way. Number three, what emotions are you feeling when you decide to put off savings and paying debt in favor of instant gratification? Answering these questions is not to villainize your past, but rather to address your emotions tied to money. You need to be aware of how you feel and how those feelings affect your choices. Because once you become aware of your feelings towards money, you will be on the path to making sound choices. Your spending will be aligned with the important things in your life today and in the future. And there you have it. My high-level view of how emotions affect spending. I hope you like this new documentary style video I'm making. I plan to make a few more of these in the future. Also, I want to give a shout out to Saveology. Their website I will link in the description down below. I took a lot of inspiration from their blog. I hope you enjoy their website when you visit it. Please like and subscribe if you like this documentary style type video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, you have a great day, and goodbye.